Hi, this is Steve Book on behalf of Positive Grid. So you finally go out and buy your dream amp, only to find out that after you've been playing it for a while, that it has one sound that you really love, but it's a little bit lacking in some other sounds. For instance, maybe the clean sound isn't that great. Or maybe it's a little bit too gritty or not gritty enough for certain situations. Well, the solution to this would be just to build your own amp with exactly the sounds that you want. But this is much easier said than done. First of all, it's very complicated. If two rare fraction sections intersect, they will combine in the medium and a rare fraction of twice the amplitude will result. Do you want your amp to be a tube amp or solid state? Well, if you want your amp to be a tube amp, you're going to need a lot of tubes. There could also be some hazards involved. Ow. It's also very technical. You have to know a lot about amps.
The general function of all staff support rooms is to receive and analyze data.
But with Bias Desktop, this is much, much easier. You don't need to know anything about amps, just let your ear guide you. You learn about real-world amp components, it's super cheap compared to building a real amp, and you get all the tones your imagination can think of. Let's do a run through of the software and I'll show you just how easy it is to build your own dream amp with Bias Desktop. For this, I'm going to be using my Fender Strat. Good components on your guitar can greatly affect your tone. For pickups, this guitar has Seymour Duncan hot rail pickups in the bridge, middle, and neck positions. I am also using Graphtec String Saver saddles and Tusk nut. I have these in all of my guitars, and I noticed a huge difference in the tone once I switched from the factory saddles and nut to Graphtec parts. Last, but certainly not least, I use Planet Wave's American Stage instrument cables. Many people don't realize how important the cable is. You buy a really expensive guitar and a really expensive amp and use a cheap cable to connect them and you lose a ton of your tone. I use these cables live and for recordings all the time. They keep the tone very true and they're built really solid. So here's how to customize and build your own amplifier. You can see when you first open up a plugin, all of the components of your amplifier are laid out for you. The custom panel, preamp section, tone stack, power amp section, transformer, and cabinet. The front panel looks just like the front panel of any amplifier with an EQ section, gain knob, and master volume. You can even change the look of your amplifier. The next section is the preamp section. Here you can change the tubes and control parameters that affect the tone of the tubes, like the tube stages or how hard the tube is driven with the distortion knob. The gain knob in the preamp section also controls the gain on the front panel. The tone stack section is where you shape the tone of the amp. You can choose from a variety of different sounds and tweak it with the EQ section. The power amp section, like the preamp section, has interchangeable tubes. You can tweak this section even further with the controls like in the preamp section. The transformer section also has interchangeable tubes. You can also change the transformer to give you a variety of different sounds. This module also has a compressor. In the cabinet section, you can choose from a variety of different speaker cabinets and choose where you want one of the two microphones to be placed. Placement of the microphone has a big influence on the tone as well. There's also an EQ that you can drop in anywhere in the signal chain to even further enhance your sound. Another great thing about building your own amp using Bias Desktop is that you get to learn about how amps really work and how each component influences the sound. Well, there you have it. All the tones you could ever dream of right at your fingertips. As you're playing and your tastes change, so can your amps. I hope this has been helpful to you, and be sure to check out more cool stuff at positivegrid.com. Thanks for watching.